Welcome back to SL Toons. For Men's Mental Health Month, we're diving into a true Golden Age classic, Daredevil Battles Hitler, the very first issue from 1941. This is the story of a man who refuses to stay down, no matter how impossible the fight looks. Grab your boomerang, and let's jump in, page by page. Berchtesgaden, Germany. Dictator Hitler's mountain lair, evading the long arm of the Gestapo, traveling by ship, rail, and on foot. A mysterious figure climbs through the murky dusk, settling upon the wild Bavarian Alps. It is Daredevil, American adventurer engaged unofficially in a secret mission for a beleaguered Britain, as he approaches the heavily guarded country retreat of the Nazi oppressor, where the fate of continents hangs in the balance. He is spotted by a member of the Führer's elite guard. "Stop! Who are you?" Speaking in German, Daredevil punctuates his reply with a hefty swing. "Heil, bum!" Then dons the unconscious elite guard's uniform, now to beard the beast of Berlin in his den. Boldly marching past squads of guards, the disguised adventurer reaches the entrance to the house. "Heil, Hitler! I have a message for the Führer." In the interim, Daredevil presents his credentials. "Heil! Yow! Here is my calling card." Locking the entrance door, he applies an ultra-sensitive stethoscope to the wall of the conference room. Those Broadway columnists have nothing on me. On the other side of the wall, from left to right, Goebbels of propaganda, Himmler of the Gestapo, Air Marshal Goering, Admiral Roeder, and General Brock-Hitzdick, with Hitler himself at the head of the table. The crystal ball says Blitzkrieg, so Blitzkrieg it is. Heil Hitler. It is a dangerous undertaking to launch on the mere word of a fortune teller. Crystal never lies. Down with England. But the general sounds an ominous warning. An attempt to cross the English Channel may require the sacrifice of 500,000 men. My men should be glad to die for me. Anyway, the element of danger is not too great because I'm expecting a copy of the enemy's defense plans from a British friend of mine. The cold-blooded dictator turns to Goebbels. "Goebbels, tell the foreign press several Germans have been murdered in Yugoslavia. Make the atrocities sound as horrible as possible. How about a demand for more living space for the right?" "Fool! Mass our troops. We will attack through Sofia and then..." Meanwhile, the fortune teller goes into a trance. "Führer, the crystal says you can't blitz England without the aid of Mussolini's brave legions." With a shriek, Hitler rushes to the other end of the table and grabs the glass ball. "You're through telling forces, Rouse." "Yowie!" "Ha! Brave! The Greeks had a word for it. Ha ha!" With the confab almost over, Daredevil prepares to depart. Too bad they didn't decide on a date. Say, what's all the noise outside? The elite guard, who Daredevil socked, has regained his senses. "Hans, what's up?" "A spy stole my uniform. I sent him into the anteroom." Trap, Daredevil whirls as the door of the conference room opens. He charges. "Gangway! Oof! Kill him! With pleasure! This is worth dying for! What the gow!" Daredevil leaps from the balcony to a tree. "Missed again! Good thing he's a general. With his aim, he wouldn't last 5 minutes in the front lines." Ruefully, Hitler and his henchmen watch Daredevil escape into the forest. "We gotta get him. He may have heard what was said in the conference. He can't elude my stormtroopers." 4 hours, scores of Nazis comb the woods. Unlost, but they're off the trail. Suddenly, Daredevil stumbles on a hidden Nazi airport, situated on a low plateau. If I can only swipe one of those planes, a little strategy may do the trick. Gathering a pile of dry branches, he steals to a hangar on the edge of the airport. This ought to start something. It does. "Fire! Number 6 hangar!" Hearing the plane roar in the sky, Nazi anti-aircraft gunners go into action. Tracer slugs streak upward. As the field personnel rush to the scene of the fire, Daredevil dashes to the Messerschmitt. Here's hoping it got enough gas. It's a long hop to good old Glidey. And the little arrow shows that I read it wrong. And then hearing the plane roar in the sky, Nazi anti-aircraft blah blah blah. In the guise of Nazi aviator, Daredevil refuels a German-held Calais, then zooms over the English Channel. "I'd better get rid of this uniform. I won't need it where I'm going." As Daredevil wings his way towards Dover, an RAF squadron spots his Nazi plane. Nazi below! As the British planes swoop down, their guns rattling, Daredevil leaps to his feet. They've mistaken me for a Nazi. I'll have to bail out. Scared out of his wits, just when I was looking forward to a nice little dogfight. Cheerio! As Daredevil lands on a cliff, a member of Britain's defense force charges them. Don't shoot! I'm an American. Take me to your commandant. Parachutist, eh? Led to the commandant, Daredevil describes his adventures. Amazing! If I had not heard of you, I would not have believed you. I have arranged for you to meet the Prime Minister. Arriving in London, Daredevil hurries to number 10 Downing Street, famous residence of England's Prime Minister. Come in, Mr. Churchill will see you shortly. A few minutes later, Prime Minister Winston Churchill appears, greeting Daredevil by his real name. Welcome, Mr. Hill. Please accompany me to the study. I have a surprise for you. Reunion in London. Silver Streak, the Speed King, and Wiz. Thought you two were back in the United States fighting gangsters. We were, until we discovered there were worse gangsters on this side of the pond. Hitler and company. Pip pip, fancy meeting you here. And now, gentlemen, let's get down to business. First, Silver Streak. I should like to hear your report on the mysterious cottage on the Downs. Don't make a hero out of me, Silver Streak. I'm too modest. I believe they're keeping pigeons, in violation of war regulations. Wiz named one of his. It was entering a window of the cottage. I pulled a power dive on it. Did it carry a message? No, I suspect the message had already been delivered. To Hitler. There's only one thing to do. Go back and keep an eye on the place, but be careful. We're pitted against desperate, cunning men. Leaving Daredevil and Churchill, Silver Streak and Wiz zip past a London bobber. Shall we take a train, Wiz? With our speed? Don't be a sap. Blimey, I must be seeing things. In a few minutes, they reach a dismal stretch of sand on the northern downs, miles from London. That window, it's opening. Get set, Wiz. You may have work to do. I'll let him have both barrels. A carrier pigeon flies from the lighted window. Wiz takes off from Silver Streak's shoulder. Okay, Wiz, do your stuff. 60 miles an hour with gas to spare. Inside the mysterious cottage, a falcon pouncing on my pigeon. Ha ha. Bang. Bullet grazes Wiz, stopping him in mid-flight. The pigeon escapes. Wing! Look out below, Streak. I'm going into a tailspin. Silver Streak catches his wounded friend, lowers him gently to the sand. Stick around, kid. I'm going to settle the score with that guy in the mask. And leave me here? What do you think I am, a canary? Silver Streak hurls himself at the cottage door. Your entry is quite unconventional. Ha ha. So is this. Well, I'll be. It's Lord Garnett, Member of Parliament. Yowie! Pow! The Silver Streak towers over the nobleman. Another masked man appears. Talk fast, your lordship. What was the message tied to that pigeon's leg? You'll never know. Blackout. Come, Jack. There may be more snoopers around. We better leave England. Wasn't dreams. Regaining his senses, Silver Streak searches the cottage. In the fireplace, he finds, why, it's a carbon copy of the Dover defenses. I'll have to breeze back to Downing Street. Mail from England. The plans, at last. Good old Garnett. Putsy. Heil Hitler. I see a mist. The mist over the channel. It clears. And now the number. The most favorable day for the Blitz is the 15th of the month. Sieg Heil, Fritz. Phone Berlin. Get Dr. Goebbels on the wire. At Hitler's behest, Dr. Goebbels summons a foreign correspondent. I've got a scoop for you boys, but remember, don't quote me. Well, quote an indisputable military source. That always goes over big. A few hours later, Goebbels' newest brainstorm breaks into print. Berlin prepares thrust to Suez. Nazi troops reported massing on the Bulgarian border. Nazi spokesman denounces torture of Germans in Yugoslavia. As the American would say, nerds. Radio Berlin broadcasts on a beam aimed at Britain, and at the mic is none other than Lord Garnett, the traitor. How the bloody jackass brays. Sounds like a Britisher, too. They ought to call him Lord Hee-Haw. Here is bad news for Mr. Churchill. In a very short time, the invincible German army will strike at Suez and close the Mediterranean Sea, cutting Britain's lifeline in half. Hee-Haw. Suez, that's far away. Maybe they'll stop bombing us in London. In the office of the British Admiralty, the German moved towards Suez as a fake, but we must pretend to fall for it. Any suggestions, gentlemen? Why not send a small portion of the Mediterranean fleet to Greece? Hitler will think you're going to land troops there. That's right. The strategy starts to work. The British have just issued a communique saying their military and naval forces are being rushed to the Balkans. Good, but let us see if they do what they say. It may be a trick. At Churchill's order, part of Britain's Mediterranean fleet is rushed towards Greece. The 34,000-ton super dreadnought Nelson, smoke belching from her stacks, leads a squadron of 6 ships. Full speed ahead! A finger moves over Europe. Radio reports indicate a large naval force is heading for Salonika. If it's true, then England falls. The lookout in the crow's nest of HMS Nelson sees something on the horizon. Large naval force bearing west. It's twice as big as our squadron, and I think it's Italian. Good. That makes it about even. Proceed in battle formation. Nelson turns, its forward guns hurl shells at the enemy. Boom! Boom! Battle gets underway. In a few minutes, 2 Italian vessels are sinking and a third is blown out of the water. That Italian destroyer is throwing down a smoke screen. That means they're going to run for it. News of the battle is flashed to Italy. El Duce chats with Hitler. The huge British fleet has just defeated one of my squadrons. Why don't they pick someone their own size? My condolences, Musso, but don't fret. In a little while you'll be properly avenged. So they did send all their forces to Salonika. 50 ships, I doubt, if they've got one left to guard the channel. Here goes the Blitzkrieg. Night, fog. An ominous quiet settles over the British Isles as the Channel Patrol maintains its vigil. Silver Streak, about to go forth on an observation flight from the deck of the battlecruiser Hood, bids farewell to Daredevil. Looky dog, you're going to have all the fun. I wouldn't be so sure the deck of a battle wagon is no bed of roses in a dive bombing attack. So long. Silver Streak plane drones through the mist, headed for a French Channel port. They say this fog is good for one's complexion. Meanwhile, in Downing Street, the Prime Minister of England dictates a secret bulletin to be issued to the High Command. We do not know if the attack shall come tonight, tomorrow, or next week, but we do remember Nelson's immortal words. England expects every man to do his duty. The shades are drawn in, London tonight, but behind them, sleepless millions wait. Wait for the weird howl of the air raid alarm. Perhaps, if the fog remains, there will be no raid, but the fog rises. A shaft of revealing moonlight strikes like a bolt at the heart of the city. This is the moment that Adolf Hitler has been waiting for. Wave after wave, 15,000 planes fill the sky with thunder, Stroka dive bombers, Messerschmitt pursuits, huge junkers, troop transports. The full might of Germany's war arm launched into all-out blow at Britain. Guarded by 100 air fighters and well in the rear, Hitler watches the big show from the balconies. If we were in the first wave, Adolf, we'd see some excellent sport. Thank you, but I can see well enough from here. Meanwhile, German factory workers strike off medals to be awarded to conquerors of Britain. Wonder how many of the men will be alive to wear the brass medals. London Bridge is falling down. The schoolboy's song has a terrible meaning now, as the first wave of Nazi planes piercing the historic city's balloon barrage unleashes a rain of destruction. Fires of 1,000 incendiary bombs illumine the city. The RAF goes into the air and the sky becomes a swirling confusion of dogfights. Men, women, and children rush for the air raid shelters. Nazi air transports unload their human cargoes. As parachute troops descend to sabotage Britain's communication system, Spitfires and Hurricanes zoom down upon them. High over the English Channel, Silver Streak's radio picks up a broadcast from a Nazi plane. Now, folks, through the courtesy of Radio Berlin, I shall give you a blow-by-blow description of the Battle of Berlin. Lord hee-haw, eh? Well, here is where I repay him for that conk on the head. Lord hee-haw signs off. Suddenly, giant guns in Nazi-held France flame into action. Artillery preparation, tons of high explosives scream across the channel. Boom! Boom! Under the cover of the barrage, Barges and troop ships loaded with Nazi soldiers move across the channel. Suddenly, a star shell turns the night into day. Look, the British have been warned, and this was supposed to be a secret. By the light of the star shell, Britain's armada, mightiest in the world, comes down on the targets. All guns fire! With the range spotted by planes, the British fleet blasts the Nazi blitz troops, slaves of their power-mad leader. With the Hood in the forefront of the battle, a Stuka dive bomber attempts to put her out of commission. They say these ships are heavily armored. We'll see. Daredevil, with uncanny aim, blazes away at the Stuka. Silver Streaker's right. This is no bed of roses. Cruiser quivers from stem to stern, but the bomb damage is small. His French gun base is silenced, his air legions wiped out, his troops defeated. Hitler desperately plays an ace in the hole, his U-boat fleet. Lord Hee-Haw sent them a map of the mined areas, but Churchill switched the mines around. Yes, but look, sir, one of the subs is getting through. Daredevil aims one of the Hood's heavy guns. There is one sub that won't sink any more ships. His last hope dashed, Hitler takes a run out, powder. Home fast, they've beaten us, and I thought our Air Force was the greatest in the world. I thought so too. We'll change our plans. After the battle, in an air raid shelter somewhere in England, poor London's almost ruined, but we'll rebuild it. Thanks to you and my courageous people, there will always be an England. The controlled Nazi press does not mention the outcome of the battle. Hitler calls for greater war effort, ration system tightens. But despite the censorship, news of Britain's victory reaches some of Germany's workers via the underground. How conquerors! Good thing they don't print casualty lists here. If only our people had the courage and strength to crush Hitler. The Claw double crosses Hitler. How, Great Claw, I have come to make a proposition to you. Shakily, Hitler gives his proposition. My forces are about to cooperate with those of Japan in destroying the British in Singapore. We ask your aid in this campaign. And what will my reward for this aid be? We shall give you all the Upper Mongolia with its millions of natives as your slaves, providing that your power is effective in destroying the British. Your reward is indeed handsome. Come, will show you the possibilities of my power. Put me down. My aides must never see me in so hopeless a condition. Little man, you are conceited. Come then to the dam of the Chinese city. I will destroy it for proof. Later, atop the Chelsea Dam, the Claw shows Hitler his mighty powers. This is how I treat my enemies. Ho ho, and now those poor fools below will suffer when the flood hits them. In the valley, death runs among the population. It was the Claw. He burst the dam. Meanwhile, in a cafe in Manila, Daredevil is talking with a pilot. It is rumored that the Japs and Nazis are going to swoop down on Singapore. Listen to this radio flash. Flash! A strange, gigantic figure climbed to the top of Chelsea Dam today and tore off the parapet, causing the waters to be released. Thousands were drowned, blah, 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 blah. That sounds like the Claw again. Let's pay him a call. Daredevil charters a plane and they are on their way when, uh-oh, there's a Jap plane ready for us. With an idea in mind, Daredevil attacks. It would be better for me to come in on a Jap plane, so, yeah! The torrent slugs rip into the Jap and the plane noses into a dive. Daredevil cautiously edges out on the plane's wing. You idiot, what are you trying? All out and change for Singapore, and jumps for the careening Jap ship. Now to dump this fellow and find out where the Claw is. At the Shanghai airport, he issues a command. Message from the Claw, take me to the headquarters. This way, please. Who are you, my friend? I'm a lieutenant of the Claw. He wishes to confer with you immediately. We will have to use one of your planes. Mine was riddled in a dogfight. When we were nearing the Claw's stronghold, I'll dump these two Japs. What troubles the Claw? His instructions are clear. He has destroyed the cities of China while we assault Singapore with our navy. Daredevil's orders are carried out. Suddenly, I have brought our plans for the Claw. What the? There is honorable home of the Claw. I'll take the plans. You take the air. Alley-oop, out you go. I need privacy to study these plans. Huh? Daredevil studies the Jap plans. Great Scott! The whole Jap fleet is on its way to Singapore, with Hitler along to see the show. I must stop them, and there's only one way to do it, with the Claw's unwitting aid. So, down I go. Now to see the Claw. Oh, Claw, the Japanese have met with reverses. Hitler has sent me to beg your help. So, show me where the trouble lies. Later, the Jap submarine squadron is massing at Huching near Singapore. I hope the Claw will take my bait. He directs the Claw over a fleet of Jap submarines. Hello, Claw? We're over a squadron of English submarines. Let 'em have it. Good. Ah, British subs. I'll rake them with my electric fire gun. Chaos reigns below as the Claw savagely attacks his allies' submarines. The Claw has turned traitor! While on Daredevil's plane, now for the Jap battle fleet. Following the Claw, proceed to Singapore Harbor and destroy the English battleships there. Still fooled by Daredevil's plan, the Claw destroys the Jap battle fleet too. Fooling him on those subs and battleships was easy, but now he knows it's his job to destroy Singapore. I must stop him. In a few minutes, the Claw is dropping death on Singapore. These bombs and liquid fire spray will soon finish Singapore. But Daredevil interrupts his work. I'll crash his rudder and chance the results. After the planes meet over the harbor, Daredevil and the Claw leap out. Crash! I see through it all now. I have been tricked. They hit the water together as their damaged planes crash into Japanese warship. Claw goes after Daredevil, but I'll crush the life out of you. Sorry, Claw, I belong to a family of eels, so I'll just wriggle out of here. He escapes from the giant hand. The white infidel, he has caused me to destroy my own allies. No one can humiliate the Claw thus. Meanwhile, aboard his Navy's flagship, Hitler has watched the preceding events. Double-crossing pig, why does he destroy his own friends? Daredevil steals aboard Hitler's ship. Hitler must be aboard his flagship, but not for long. A few gas bombs will give me possession of the gun turret, and then I'll have some real fun. Here's gas in your eyes, boys. A little sleep won't hurt you. Yah, say your prayers, you yellow nightmare. The shell pierces the Claw's gigantic hand. Ow, my hand! I've had enough. The Claw must take revenge on the one who has duped him. A tremendous hand pounds the ship. Death to him now! Crash! Caught off guard from the impact, Hitler is thrown into the water. The Claw has gone mad! Oh, it's you! You caused all this trouble! Have mercy! Terrified, Hitler faces the Claw. Help! This is too good for you. Meanwhile, in the battleship's hold, oh, light a fuse, and then let's get away. The ship blows up, never to come back, I pray. Here goes nothing. The doomed ship drifts over to the Claw and explodes in his face. Ow! Some more of that white infidel's work. Wham! Raging mad, the Claw starts to crush Hitler when... Wait, Great Claw, it was not my fault that things went wrong. Return me safely to Germany and 5 million will be yours for your service. Claw accepts Hitler's offer and swims towards the horizon. Hitler and the Claw will have some stories to tell their children someday. And now we have some silly jokes. Hash. It's a good thing this boat's got cross ventilation. I merely tried to pour it. It's quick drying enamel. Guess who? Won't that light ever change? Street sprinkler. I'd like to give that beef heart the once over before you wrap it up. Daredevil and Lance Hale fighting Hitler and his jungle hordes. Desperately, Hitler wants to conquer Africa from within so he can cut Great Britain off from her colonial empire. But he has first to reckon with Daredevil and Lance Hale, who are bent on disrupting his mad scheme. In the dense African jungle, Hitler's hordes have lodged themselves in preparation for the coming interior invasion. We must storm through these jungles and take over Africa so that I alone shall rule. On the concealing boughs of a nearby tree, the old boy has some layout here. Yes, and he must be driven out of my jungle home. Eluding the sentries, Daredevil and Lance Hale advance along the barracks wall. This is the mustached leader's hangout. Voices. They peer in and see. General von Sputt, your division will advance on the enemy near the border, and Schmidt, you will carry out the offensive against Egypt. Keep an eye on the outside while I pay a visit to those heels inside. Daredevil barges in on the private conference. Good evening, you warmongers. How would you like me to meet my personal shock troops? It's Daredevil! And breaks it up. Shock number 1. Oops. Number 2. Number 3. The force of Daredevil's kick carries the general through the window. And crash! He tried to kill the Fuhrer! Get him! The soldiers rush into quarters only to be met by whirling Daredevil. The odds are overwhelming and Daredevil is subdued. Take him out and shoot him. Get off of me, you leeches. Soon Daredevil faces his firing squad. Ready, aim, what a predicament. But Lance comes upon the scene astride a charging and bellowing elephant. Aye! Mein Gott! And soon disperses the firing squad. Daredevil joins Lance Hale on top of the elephant. What are you doing? I'll make that guy wish he never came here. Lance looses an arrow with surprising results. Himmel, my nose! Swine, pig, it'll take me weeks to grow another mustache. I'll blast him to pieces. Hitler, mad with rage, runs towards a baby tank, and that rotten arrow man, he'll suffer for insulting the Fuhrer. Soon the air is filled with leaden death, but I saw this done in the movies. Daredevil lands on top of the tank. Come out of your shell, you oversized turtle. What the... A fist barrage meets Hitler's face. Here's a souvenir from Africa. Pow! Hitler regains his feet and tries to flee. What kind of soldiers have I? Where are they? Lance's elephant sees him and... How does it feel to be on the receiving end? Let go! Sets him on his back. It seems my pet has taken pity on you or he would have crushed you to death. 9! This is the beginning of your end. Lance quickly grabs the Fuhrer and swings him high over his head. Suddenly, Hitler's soldiers appear and train rifles on Lance Hale. 100,000 marks to the man who captures him. Put our Fuhrer down or we shoot. Meanwhile, Daredevil takes out his boomerang. Ganging up on him, eh? And lets it fly. This'll take care of you. Clank, 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 clank. When Lance Hale puts Hitler down, he jumps off the elephant's back onto the barracks roof. Now's my chance to get away from that guy. Where is he going? And runs for a machine gun placed on the roof just as Daredevil throws the boomerang again. Where does he think he's going? The boomerang catches his feet. Bam! However, he gains the machine gun. Bust my nose, will you? Try some bullets in your stomach. Wow, he's turning on the heat. Too close for comfort. Lance Hale's elephant whisked Daredevil out of the bullet's path. Thanks, pal. I'll do the same for you someday. The gun's constant chatter suddenly stops. Now what happened? Clink. Get out of ammunition, will you? Take that! Daredevil snatches Lance's bow and carefully aims it at a stack of bombs. Here, let me try this thing out. Hitler surmises Daredevil's intentions and jumps off the roof towards... He is mad. He wants to blow up the whole camp. A nearby pursuit plane, Daredevil lets the arrow fly. It's murder for anyone who stays, and I'm not staying. Straight into a bomb's percussion cap. A series of explosions rip the camp asunder as Hitler's plane takes off. While up in the air, the whole place is destroyed. I must flee to the fatherland, and the people will never find this out. I will tell them that an earthquake came upon us. Daredevil and Lance watch Hitler flee. Well, there goes the old buzzard with his tail between his legs. I don't think he'll ever invade these jungles again without thinking twice. Somehow, I think you're right. The end. Daredevil with Dickie Dean, boy inventor, in the case of the secret code machine. Smash Goebbels spy net. Herr Goebbels, I have learned that a boy, Dickie Dean, has invented a foolproof decoding machine. I can use dot machine. Yeah, good, good. Hello? Hello? We can't hear you. Static? Who is Joseph Goebbels? Born 1897, educated at Heidelberg, joined National Socialist Party 1922, organized youth movement, entered the Reichstag in 1930. 1933, received from Hitler the new post of Reich Minister of Enlightenment and Propaganda. Across the broad Atlantic flashes another message to Dr. Goebbels from one of his spies, but this time it's about a friend of yours, Dickie Dean. The British consul in Washington wants us to bring my invention at once. Yippee, let's go! We'll take the Skybug, Zip. Right! The Skybug is an invention of Dickie's that defies gravity through the use of a powerful repelling magnet. Washington, here we come! And here we are. We have an appointment with the consul, ma'am. He's expecting you. You may go in. This is a fine invention. I would like the British intelligence to see it, so I've arranged for you and your friend to go to England on a destroyer. We'll burn the plans for safety's sake, and you'll be able to explain the invention. Will you go? Yes. They depart the next day. So long, America. We're leaving to help make the world a better place. Yeah, and safer to live in. 1 week later, in the office of the British intelligence, why we didn't pick our little magnet thing, I don't know. Your decoder will be a great asset. How soon can you start? Right away. Here's a list of the materials I need. They go to work in a factory on the outskirts of London. Here's the pliers. Whew, it's past midnight, but we're done. No. Say, did you hear footsteps? Suddenly, this ether will keep the kids quiet. Oof. Later. Hey, wake up, lads. They must have been drugged. Finally, the boys come to. The decoder, it's gone. Why, those dirty... what happened? Back in headquarters, we just received information that decoder is bound for Germany. How would you like to go see Berlin? There our operative will help you regain it. We're ready now. Disguised as fishermen, the boys sailed to the German coast. We ought to be there soon. Yep. They worked their way into Berlin. I wonder who he is. This is the place where we're told to meet the agent. Suddenly, greetings, lad. The operative proves to be none other than Daredevil. We must hurry, lads. There's a stack of work to do. Okay, Mr. Daredevil. Daredevil presses a brick in a wall along the street and, gee, a secret passage. Follow me. Soon, they're in the headquarters. Sir, we learned that Dr. Goebbels has the decoder. We'll attend to that. This way, boys. Daredevil leads them to a tunnel that runs into the streets of Berlin. Here we go, Mr. Daredevil. Hey, you, young rogues, wait for me. Right into the Chancellery. Wait, boys, guards. This calls for a little strategy. Daredevil whispers something to Zip. I get you. Following Daredevil's instructions, Zip brazenly walks past Dr. Goebbels' dumbfounded guards. What? What is that child doing here? With their attention centered on Zip, Daredevil asks, pull a gun on a kid, eh? Pop, pop, pop! Yep, there's Goebbels in the decoder. Daredevil boosts Dickie up on his shoulders near the door to Goebbels' office. You, Mr. Dribbles, I'm the installment man come back for that machine. Spies, call the guards! Suddenly, additional guards surround the trio. Oh, looks like we're in for it. Throw them in the dungeon. They'll be shot tomorrow for spying. Without warning, Daredevil lunges at Goebbels. Ah! I don't like dungeons, so I think I'll go home. Daredevil breaks away and vanishes into a secret corridor. Yeah, where has he gone? Goebbels leads the boys down to the dungeons. You young snipes don't trouble us anymore. In here, you gutter snipes. Okay. Suddenly, from out of the darkness, Daredevil's boomerang zooms. Ow! Crap! It's the Daredevil! What? Dare! Blap! Crush! Can't you guys stop picking on children? Once a day is enough. I must get out of here or I will be killed. But Goebbels quickly picks up a fallen rifle. As Goebbels runs, Dickie thrusts a rifle between his legs. Stick around, the show's just started. Stop that, or I shoot. In a panic, Goebbels backs away. Why don't you shoot? Haven't you got enough nerve? He's gonna lock us in. But once Goebbels was gone, Daredevil reveals another hidden door in the dungeon cell. Say, this place is filled with secret passages. I know them all. That's why I did not stop him. This is the way I came in. Later, Goebbels enters his office, only to find that was a close one. Yo, their coder is gone. Meanwhile, behind the walls of Goebbels' office, well, here's your decoding machine, Dickie. We'll carry it to the secret British intelligence office. They can use it there. I'll bet Goebbels is raving mad. In the secret office of the British, Laddie, England will always remember her little heroes. I got an idea. Get all the rope and wire you can and come with me, Daredevil. The three enter Goebbels' office from a secret door. What will the Führer say when he finds out? Shh. Quietly, Daredevil overpowers Goebbels. Later that day in Hitler's office, what? A man hanging outside the window? Goebbels, you fool! What happened? Taking the card pinned to Goebbels, Hitler reads, try decoding this one. Daredevil, Dickie Dean, Zip Todd. Just gags. Hang on, Mike. Here comes another bump. That romance won't last. Now don't let me guess. Just open your mouth wide and it'll be all over in a jiffy. The Daredevil and Cloud Curtis wreck Goering Skyfighters. Who is Hermann Goering? Born 1893, joined infantry 1912, transferred to Air Arm 1914, commanded Richthofen Squadron 1915, made general after the war, an organizer under Hitler, wounded in Munich, Puchek, became member Reichstag and was made Reich Minister of Air and Minister of the Interior 1933. Into England roar the Daredevil and Cloud Curtis aboard Cloud's Golden Bullet to help fight off the murderous Arab blitzkrieg. Watch them as they zoom into a death-defying personal duel with the ruthless head of Germany's air armada, Marshal Hermann Goering. Approaching Ramgate, they come upon a bitter dog fight between three squadrons of Messerschmitts and one of Spitfires. Wow, no sooner we get here than we find action. Let's go! Gosh, these RAF babies don't care much about odds. I'll warm my machine guns before joining the battle. Leave the cannon to me. Like avenging doom, the Daredevil and Cloud Curtis fall on the attacking Messerschmitts. One squadron of mess-ups smashed and the Spitfires take care of another. Let's get the third, Cloud. What the? They're performing an iron ring around that red Messerschmitt. There's something fishy about it. The squadron is not an attack formation. The red mess-up must be carrying an important Nazi. Let's see. Okay, here goes. Look, Daredevil in that plane. Why, I'm dreaming. It's Fatso Herman. The pilot of the red Messerschmitt is Marshal Hermann Goering, Hitler's right-hand man, who heads the Nazi Air Force. Hurry, get that English plane. On Goering's order, three Messerschmitts instantly fall on Cloud's plane, whose engine starts to miss. Get in! Sputter. Gosh, Daredevil, the engine's failing. Disregarding the attacking Messerschmitts, the Daredevil climbs out on the wings. I'll keep him busy while you repair it. Then leaps into space. Holy cow, what goes on here? Good afternoon, gentlemen. What's this? I'm a lucky guy to be able to take a poke at you. There are a lot of people who would like to do the same. From Goering's plane, the Daredevil leaps to another. Now to kill two birds with one stone. So much for you. I'll let Cloud have the honor of bagging Fatso Goering. As Daredevil stands on the plane's wing, Cloud roars by. Okay, clogged carburetor's fixed. Come on, Daredevil. Maintaining radio silence, the Daredevil and Cloud follow Goering across the channel. Trying to land in Chantilly, well, we'll add a few more gray hairs to Fatso's head. What? It's English again. They dive on one of the mess-ups. Himmel! No! And he hits a gasoline dump. Won't Comrade Goering be angry? Suddenly, a dozen Nazi planes surround him, but what a reception! Fatso ordered it. Let's give him the works. Cloud tears through the air, leaving behind a trail of burning planes. Then, now to fake a distress, I'm going to stall. Deliberately stalling the plane, they land. Capture those swine. No more will he shoot my men down. Ja, Herr Goering. Hands up, dog. You certainly are brave when the odds are with you. Swine of a Britisher, I'll teach you to make a monkey out of me. I'm an American, fatso, and thanks for the compliment. You, Cloud Curtis, can't you mind your business? This is our business, you fat coward. Silence grips the airport. Never before has the marshal been called a coward to his face. Yes, I said coward. You need a lot of young men to protect you. You, a World War ace of the German flying circus. We challenged you to a dogfight, but you sacrificed a lot of kids instead. I followed you here to see if the great Goering had the courage to fight a duel alone. Alright, I'll fight you alone. If you win, you may return to England, but if you lose, the penalty is death. Done, but first let us fix our planes, refuel and refill the ammunition drums. Air Captain Wolf, see that the requests of this dog are granted. Stage is set for the gigantic sky duel of the war. The opposing planes rise in rapid chandelas, achieving altitude for the fight. Planes roar at each other with guns hammering. Come on, fatso, can't you take it? Well, I'll be. He knows how to fight. Closer they come, and as soon as they are about to crash, they suddenly reverse. Could have sworn I saw the whites of his eyes. Then spar for advantage. I think I'll fake a dive. But Goering somehow does not fall for the trick. And Cloud's golden bullet roars into the Germans' gun sights. Ah! Now it's death for the American swine. Cloud quickly implements to escape Goering's deadly hail of bullets. Phew, that was close. The tables are turned. It's finis for Blubber Goering. And how? As Cloud blasts at Goering, the Messerschmitt goes into a spin. There he goes. But skillfully Goering pulls out. Himmel, I got her out, but look what's ahead. And lands next to a pig. Humiliated before my men by those dogs. I cannot face them. I will. He didn't shoot after all. Too bad. Oh well, better luck next time. And so the Daredevil and Cloud Curtis head back to England. Roll out the barrel, we'll have a barrel of fun. Roll out the barrel, we got the Huns on the run. The Daredevil and Pirate Prince versus Von Reuter, Nazi Sea Raider. Who is he? Von Reuter was captain of the German raider Emden. A remarkable success in the last World War. Since Hitler's rise to power, Von Reuter was promoted to his present position as Admiral. What terror has gripped the high seas where ships go down twisted in a flame? There's only one answer, and Daredevil seeks it. Admiral Von Reuter's Sea Raid. A British convoy wins its way through the sea. A lone ship swings away from the convoy, tears down the British flag to hoist a Nazi emblem, and concealed guns fire into the convoy. Later, in Berlin, you've done well, Admiral Reuter, but still too many enemy ships are getting through. You will patrol the English Channel and sink every ship in sight. Ja! Later, Daredevil and his cruiser tags along with an unarmed convoy near England. This fog is thicker than those Nazis say. That ship is going faster than the rest of the convoy, and there was no vessel near me before. Letting the robot controls of his boat, Daredevil throws a hooked line. Perhaps this is the fish going after the bait. Making sure the line is secured, he climbs aboard the ship. Spiders have a much better way of doing this. Panning the deck, unseen, Daredevil advances and sees, hinges to lower this bulkhead. Very convenient to drop the section and bring a hidden 6-inch gun to play on the convoy. What's the use of scrubbing it, boys? What? It's only gonna get dirty again. Ooh. The remaining soldiers receive still rougher treatment. How's this for a broadside? What's all this commotion? While outside, Admiral Von Reuter hurriedly walks towards the noise. Hello, you wet blanket. Capture him and put him in irons. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but irons will never hold me. Suddenly, Daredevil scrambles aloft. Their fog is lifted enough. Fire at the convoy. Send up the Nazi flag. Quickly, the Nazi flag is strung up and the deck's cleared for action. The first shell finds a target. Ja! A hit! Fire continuously. Without warning, a mysterious shell explodes on the raider. Looks like there's someone else in this battle. A ship from the past bears down on the raider. Do I see things? Swing their guns on that rowboat, quick! But before the guns can be brought to bear, pirates yelling for battle swarm aboard. Leading them is the gallant pirate prince. On and fight, you weak-hearted Nazi lovers. By the blood of my ancestors, where is the fight in your lily-levered souls? You'd try to drill holes in me, eh? Taste some shark teeth, you dog of the sea. Aloft, Daredevil, much amused, sees. That boy sure can fight. Uh-oh, a sniper. Look out below, for here I go. You can't say I didn't warn you. Pirate Prince thanks Daredevil as he walks up to him. Come on, lend a hand. 'Twould be an extreme pleasure, my friend. The terrified sailor swung back and forth. 1, 2, and 3! Over you go, into the sea! Come, my hearty, there's much dirt for us to clean up. Let's see how much resistance you have. These dogs are too soft for me. Suddenly the men stop fighting as they see. Stop, or I blow the whole ship up. You're going into circulation again. The Daredevil draws his boomerang. Boomerang sails through the air, and Von Roeder thinks lightning has struck. Ow! Daredevil spikes the gun. This toy is out of order now. Ah, your pig is still behind. Von Roeder tries to flee. The prince intrudes. Whoop, where do you think you're strolling to? Ah, your pants, this is an insult. Captain, have ye no modesty? The prince snips Von Roeder's suspenders. I must get away from these swine. Not so fast, you herring. Whoa, horsey. Help! Round and round you go. Where you stop, I don't know. Help! Help! Oof! And to think they pay for this in Coney Island. However, Von Roeder snaps the desperate action, catching Pirate Prince off guard. Take Dot, pig! And Dot for giving me der spin! And attacks Daredevil wildly with his feet. Hit me and kick my friend, eh? What the? Missed him. Seeing the prince coming for him, Von Roeder jumps the rail to Daredevil's boat, still towed behind. Well, he got away, but he won't trouble shipping for a long time. Eh, Pirate Prince? Hey, where did you disappear to? What is this? The pirate ship and her entire crew gone. Daredevil nimbly jumps over unconscious sailors to the other side of the ship. Well, what do you know? The prince and all his swashbucklers left. Bon voyage! Ah, that swine Daredevil, he upset my plans. Now the English will have food. I am disgraced. Mein Führer, how can we face their people? So, a week later, in the Chancellery in Berlin, the man of hate, Adolf Hitler, dictator of Germany. What is the character, the personality of this dark little man? Is he a great patriot or a mad, scheming egomaniac? One thing is certain, he is a many-sided creature, a chameleon in human flesh. Someday I will be great. Deluded? As a young man he tried to paint, his teachers dubbed him completely untalented, yet he still believes he is a great artist. Boom! He developed a demonic hatred for the English during the last war, was temporarily blinded, he claims, by English mustard gas. Yeah, the cursed English! Before World War I, as a bricklayer's assistant, he was called Verluck, crazy, by his fellow workers. Dummkopf, I am a masterman, I am in German blood. Insane? At times, Hitler's mind is uncanny in its shrewdness. As a revolutionary strategist, he was unexcelled by his colleagues. Gut, when der parade forms, we substitute army rifles for der sticks, then fly? When thwarted, the strange man bursts into tears, raves and rants like a frustrated child. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Fanatic. Speed! Speed! Hitler's rise to power came through the support of loyal, hard-working lieutenants. One dark night, he raced about the country, ordering more than a score of them murdered in their beds. They had dared to differ with him. Beast? Yes, this queer, morose, unlikable man is the absolute dictator of Germany. How did he reach the heights of the world power? Without root for the answer, read on. Himmel. Coward? Once police fired upon a Nazi political parade. Hitler flung himself into the gutter while his followers stood and faced the bullets. Germany will rule supreme. The inferior races will be our slaves. Hypnotist. One key to his power is his oratory. The sheer passion and fervor of his delivery plunges his warped logic deep in the minds of his listeners. Fierce, intense, yet the music of Richard Wagner reduces Hitler to a cooing, smirking slob. Sentimentalist. So beautiful. Man of Hate by R.B.S. Davis. Charge! The command was thin and shrill, and as it rang out over the peaceful Austrian countryside, 4 small boys dashed from a thicket and raced side by side into the open meadow. They wore old army hats, a little too big for them, wooden swords attached to thick, shiny leather belts, and they brandished long imitation rifles in their hands. "We're the Boers!" screamed the leader. He was a slight, dark boy with thick, blue-black hair and intense green eyes. There was a look of fierce purpose on his small, round face. His name? Adolf Hitler. "Kill the English!" he shouted. "Kill them dead!" At midfield, the 4 young soldiers launched into an imaginary battle with the imaginary enemy. They dropped to their knees, flung their rifles to their soldiers, and began a rapid fire. Bang! 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 With their sharp little voices. Then they sprang to their feet again, hauling forth their swords, and leaped forward, taking mighty swipes at the air. In their minds they saw the bloody heads of Englishmen dropping to the ground. They saw big, round, frightened English eyes rolling and ogling in these severed heads. They heard the terrible screams of their vanquished foes filling the peaceful air. Then, as suddenly as the battle began, it ended. "Oof!" gasped one small blond boy. "I'm tired." He dropped to the ground, rolled over on his back, and settled himself in complete comfort. 2 of the others followed suit, but the 4th, little Adolf Hitler, wanted to go on with the bloody game. He argued and pleaded with the others to play, but they refused, and finally little Adolf went away, crying and angry. All his life, that game, Kill the English, has been Adolf Hitler's favorite. His hatred of them is a mania, just as his love of everything German is a mania. Yet Hitler is not German by birth. He is Austrian. He was born on April 20th, 1889, in a small inn at Braunau. His father, a customs officer, was a big, stocky man, very much older than Adolf's mother. Thus, as Adolf grew into boyhood, his father was an old man and had little interest in doing the friendly, sporting things with him that younger fathers do. Hitler became a brooding, sulky child. At school, he was a poor student. He flunked German, French, mathematics, stenography, and many other subjects. When he left school and went to Vienna to study art, his teachers were as glad to be rid of him as he was to be rid of them. He was no artist, and no amount of teaching and practice and diligence could make him one. He scrimped and scraped along, trying to support himself. He colored photographs and sold them for postcards. He did odd jobs. He worked as a bricklayer's assistant. But he could not get along with his fellows and eventually lost his job. He seems to fail at everything he attempted, and the brooding, sulky child grew into a frustrated ingrown young man who hated the world. Now, like all failures who cannot provide for themselves, Adolf began to meet with lurking underground groups of men who wanted to overthrow the industrious, hard-working people in the world and rob them of their belongings. Here, at last, was something he would be good at: spreading discontent, grousing and complaining about the leaders of the land, plotting and scheming ways and means of trampling them down. Adolf Hitler threw himself into this work with a will, but abruptly he was forced to stop. A mighty terror had stalked into the world, a terror that was to occupy all men, big and small, for 4 long, blood-soaked years. War. With millions of others, Hitler was sucked into this maelstrom of death. Here he could play his bloody game of kill the English in earnest. But he was a mediocre soldier, and it is doubtful if he killed very many Tommies. However, some unknown Tommy bullet hit him, because at the war's end he was laid up in a hospital at Passowa. It was here that Hitler decided to dedicate his life to revolution and world conquest. Here that the shape and method of his schemes were born. Discharged from the army, he traveled to Munich, Germany, and joined up with a small group of malcontents, which included Goering, Hess, and others. To these men he outlined his dreams of super Germany, a Germany of such magnitude and might that it would rule the world, suck from it all the riches and goods from the German people alone. He and his followers would lead this fantastic march, and for their reward they would take the juiciest and biggest and fattest plums from the vast loot. Hitler harped and raved about this program so long and so tirelessly that these men began to believe it was possible. Maybe, they mused, it would be good, yeah, but how? Hitler knew. Break all the rules, lie, cheat, promise everything, then give nothing. Steal and plunder, murder those who would stand in the way. This world of men is made up of blithering, drooling idiots who believe honesty is a virtue, who think their freedom is good for them, who deal in stupid codes of law for the common good. These men, these people will believe our clever promises are lies, and they will trust us. Then, one by one, as they sink into lethargy, we will strike them into a death blow, enslave their children, and reap their goods. With a passionate, deep, bitter conviction, Hitler proved to his followers that the dream was possible. By playing upon the hurt pride of the defeated German people, they began to swell their ranks. They promised riches undreamed of. They promised glory and honor. They burned hideous lies into the hearts of the youth, and they awakened a great grumbling hatred in them for everything non-German. They staged parades and outings. They held mass meetings and created such huge disorder in the land that the government of freely elected officials was forced to combat them with guns and soldiers. But still their ranks grew, and eventually the government had to recognize them as a legal political party. By 1930, Hitler's Nazi Party had won 106 seats in the government. Hitler's lies and wild promises had gained him the support of many influential men, industrialists, bankers, army officials, and so, in January 1930, President Paul von Hindenburg made him Chancellor of the whole German Reich. The first great battle was won. The man of hate was born. In the following pages, you will see, in picture form, what this has meant to the entire world. Power. What Hitler has craved all his life, now as Chancellor he had it. He would increase it, safeguard it. I want everyone who works against their Nazi party in this country arrested. Put them away to rot or kill them. But be careful of that old fool Hindenburg. He must not know. The secret insidious purge began, led by the Gestapo, undercover police. Innocent people by the hundreds were torn from their beds. What is the meaning of this? Gestapo, you're under arrest. Professors, doctors, lawyers, writers, indiscriminately they were rounded up. Get along, you swine. Concentration camps like this sprang up all over the land, and these hordes of poor souls were herded into them. Here they were tortured in confessions of treason by Hitler's bullies. The brutality of these camps is unique in all history. Confess, speak, stubborn one, speak. Mercy, mercy! Thus was the most opposition to Hitler's regime squelched, the deadly Gestapo agents never rested, murder and lust rode high, and Hitler held the reins. Hurry, Hans, hurry! Stop! In 1934, when the senile old Hindenburg died, Hitler had himself declared supreme leader of Germany. This deed marked the end of all freedom in the country. He is dead, the old fool dead. Now I am their leader. And now I shall gird this country for the greatest war effort it has ever known. Good. There began in Germany a vast armament program, never before equaled. March, Germans, arm and march! War is glorious! We are going to conquer the world! Sieg Heil! Hitler! Heil Hitler! Thousands of young Germans were put in uniform, trained to fight, and as this great war machine grew, Hitler's lust for action grew with it. His first step in defiance to the world was to send his soldiers into the territory of the rumored coup number 1. Then a great fifth column of spies was created to creep like sly maggots into neighboring lands, undermining the peoples. Aha, now to spread the gospel. Many of these simple, stupid peasants believed the clever lies and were enlisted to betray their own governments. Ja! Boom! Vital defense factories were sabotaged, weakening these countries against the coming invasions. Oh, murderers, Nazi swine! Bang, bang! Down with the Republic! Suddenly Hitler struck his first big blow. It began by the cold-blooded murder of Chancellor Dollfuss of Austria by Nazi party men. Immediately pro-Nazi in Austria seized the government, then turned to Hitler and begged for protection. Alright, get him out. Make room for Nazi order. Help! Come on! Pray, Fuhrer, pray come into Austria and protect us from the terrible Republicans. Very well, since you insist. Again, Hitler's troops marched. The stunned Austrian people watched them pour into their country with amazement. Coup number 2. Sieg Heil! Now with Austria under his belt, Hitler turned on Czechoslovakia, who would bully it to its knees. You dirty devil, you are mistreating Germans within your borders. Give me half of your country. What? Who? The Czech president hurried to Hitler's high Bergenstock home to protest against this preposterous demand. Hitler raved and screamed at him and demanded still greater concessions. But, Excellency, you know in your heart that we have not mistreated your nationals. No, you are a beast, and we cannot allow you to govern our people any longer. We march! Weak, small Czechoslovakia conceded. German troops marched again. Then Hitler turned on Poland. Sieg Heil! He used the same ruse, mistreated German minorities, but Poland would not be bullied. We shall resist the Nazi gangsters to the last man. Boom! That did it! Poland would fight. Mars, the greedy god of war, again stalked the land with Adolf Hitler at his elbow. France and England jumped into the fray. This madman must be stopped. But Hitler had the advantage, and one by one countries began to fall. Boom! Crash! Ow! Poland, Norway, Holland, Belgium, Luxembourg, then that great citadel of freedom, France. All fell before Hitler and his soldiers and his evil chum Mars. When would it end? Brrr. England is next. Heil! Sieg Heil! Hitler! Yes, England was to be next. Away, away, my warbirds! Bomb them off the map! But as the Black Stukas came over England, flocks of Spitfires rose to fend them off. Day after day, month after month, Hitler sent his fighters across the channel, but they were always beaten off. Had the worm turned at last? Kill them! Bomb them! Crack them! But England just won't crack. And today old John Bull fights on stronger than ever. Hitler raves and screams to no avail. How will this bloody era end? How will Hitler wind up? Exiled, sick, hated, imprisoned? Spoiler alert. He dies. That's what happened to Napoleon, Caesar, the Kaiser. His time will come, and boy did it. The fate of all dictators. And that's the first full issue of Daredevil. A man who looked evil in the face and said, not today. No matter how dark things get, you can still choose to fight back. That's the spirit we're celebrating this Men's Mental Health Month. Drop your favorite panel and moment in the comments. If you enjoyed this, smash that like button, subscribe for more classic comic reads, and I'll see you on the next page. Stay strong, stay unconquered. Good night.